Oh, hello YouTube. Today on The Naughty Librarian, I am doing a book unhaul. You know, it's like a never-ending battle with my shelves. As soon as I make any space on them, they're immediately full again. I don't know what to do. So anyway, I cleaned out my shelves, is what I'm getting at, because, well, like I said, they're very full. Things were double stacked. They're still double stacked, but now there's a little bit of space in places. But anyway, I cleaned out a little bit of my shelves. These are books that I have decided I can part with. It's time for them to go. Multiple reasons. Some of them I've had them on my shelf this long. I still haven't read it. It's not going to happen. Or maybe I read it and I didn't really like it, etc., blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stuff leaving my shelves. It's late at night, too. I've had this makeup on for like 12 hours at this point. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind just a little. It's been a long day. All right. It's 11 o'clock at night. Let's go. Let's film a video. Okay, first book leaving my shelves is The Devil Wears Black by L.J. Shen. Multiple reasons. One, I have it on my shelf for a long time. I haven't read it yet. I don't think there's an audiobook component. Also, like, I've heard bad things about this author. I try not to hop on the judgment train without, like, doing my own research, but from what I have gathered, there are issues with this author. And I don't know. It's not happening. There you go. It's just not going to happen. I didn't personally buy this one. It was sent to me, so it's not my fault I have it on my shelf. Anyway, it's leaving it. Also leaving my shelf is The Dating Playbook by Farah Roshan, and this one is leaving my shelf simply because I read it and I wasn't crazy about it. It has some problematic elements in it. Like, I feel like there's a bit of maybe fat phobia in here, definitely almost disordered eating. There's so much like emphasis on like fitness and food and counting your calories and macronutrients that it's a little much, that I feel like it might be triggering for some people who are getting over, an eating disorder or disordered eating. I think it would be triggering for them. Also, it wasn't fun. It wasn't the best book. I really liked the first book of this series, The Boyfriend Project, which was really fun. This one it wasn't the best. It's not my favorite. I probably still read the last book of the series, and part of me was just like, well, if I'm going to get the last book, I might as well keep the whole series. But I'm like, no, Amanda, no. If you don't like the book, it's not staying on your shelf. It's taking up space that could be used for books you do like. I'm getting rid of We Used to Be Friends by Amy Spalding. I picked this up way back in the day. I still haven't read it. I got it when it first came out. Oh my gosh, there's so many stickers in here. Like, I went to the book launch and I have all these stickers in here. If I get like bookish merch, I usually just leave it in the book. But I've had this for 2 years now and I still haven't even opened it. It's YA contemporary. I'm just like not vibing with it. I'm okay with parting ways with this one. I don't ultimately feel like I'm going to love it, so I might as well just let it off into the world. I'm gonna get rid of Kingsbane by Claire Legrand. The whole reason I kept it for so long is because I really, really liked the first book of this series, Forestborn. It's fantastic. And so I was like, yes, I pre-ordered this one. I was obsessed. I needed it. And Kingsbane just let me down over and over again. It just took all the things I liked in the first book and just destroyed them. And I was very upset. I was so upset by this book. I didn't even finish the trilogy. This is the middle book of the trilogy. Didn't even read the last one. Like, that's how like much it ruined it for me. So again, I was just keeping it because I liked the first book of the series. Why am I keeping books I don't like? It's going. I'm keeping Forestborn. I really like that one. I don't need the rest of the series because I'm not going to read them and I didn't like them. I'm going to get rid of You, Me, and Our Heartstrings by Melissa C., mainly because I feel like this would be better served with a different reader than myself. I kind of just got it accidentally at Y'all West. I didn't try to go out of my way to get this book. It just kind of happened. So, yeah, it's YA contemporary. It does have disability representation, which is great. And I think for the right reader, this book will make more difference in their life than it will in mine. So I'd rather go to a happy home and I would enjoy it more. But I do think it has some cool things going on for it. It's just probably not something I'm going to read. And you know, I kind of feel the exact same way about Meet Me in Mumbai by Sabina Khan. Again, I feel like this would be happier in a home where it's going to be fully appreciated. And for me, it's a YA coming of age, I think queer story, mother-daughter parallel stories. And while I like the concept, and it probably has some good stuff in there, it's just ultimately not something I'm going to read. So I'd rather it go off to a reader that would enjoy it more and like get a lot more out of it. So there's no bad blood here. It's just not for me. Hey, let's do a three-peat. Same exact reasons, ditto copied on The Feeling of Falling in Love by Mason Deaver. Again, it's not the book for me, but I want it to be the book for someone else. So yeah, I'm not gonna read it. I know I won't. Although that was a funny line, hold on. I feel like it does have some value and the right person's gonna get a lot out of it. But it's just not something I find myself like wanting to read. Like I look at it and it doesn't like spark joy for me, but I feel like it would spark joy for the right reader, so it's gonna go. I'm getting rid of Queen of Ruin by Tracy Bangert, and I mainly got this because I really liked the first book of this series, Grace and Fury. It's surprisingly really good. And I pre-ordered this book, and by the time it got here, I think it was delayed too. By the time it got here, I just had lost interest in it. So it's my own fault. Like, I think this was a duology too, and I read the first book and enjoyed it, but it was so long in between books that like I had lost interest in it. So it's my own fault, I know, but like the first book is quite good, so I do recommend checking it out. It's YA kind of fantasy dystopian thing going on here. A lot of like girl power going on. It's fun. It's a good book. I liked it. But I've lost interest in continuing the series. You know what? Ditto. Same for this one. I'm getting rid of Bruja Born by Zoraida Cordova. And again, same exact reasons. I read Labyrinth Lost, quite enjoyed it. This is the sequel. But by the time I had got the sequel, I had lost interest in the series. So it's my own damn fault. It's not the book's fault. It's my fault for losing interest. But it is fun. I did like Labyrinth Lost. It's like Brooklyn Brujas series. So it's like witches, Latinx representation. Love that. It's got a lot of cool stuff going on. It's just like, I'm never going to read this. It's just not going to happen. You know what? Let's do another three-peat. Again, Beastly Bones by William Ritter. Probably never going to read this. I read the first book of the series, Jacoby. Quite enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. So I picked up the next book. I found it on sale. And then like, it's been years and I still haven't read it. And frankly, I am no longer interested in it. I've just lost interest in the series, but it's good. I really enjoyed Jacoby quite a bit. So I do recommend checking out Jacoby and maybe continue on with the series. It's just, I'm not going to do it. I've made my peace with this. This whole like book Unhaul is about making my peace with things. So I read We Could Be Heroes by Mike Chen, and like I liked it. I didn't love it. And I thought that was a good enough reason to get it off my shelf, because ultimately, like, I look at it and I'm not like, wow, that was so fun to read. I'm like, it was fine. You know, it's very mediocre in my soul right now, but like I liked it. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the book. I just didn't love it, and therefore it's gonna leave my shelf. I liked it enough. It's fine. It's fine. I just don't want it. So I got this book, I think, for free somewhere, but this is Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevers. This is book 3 of her Fair Assassin series. And I have the first book, and I do want to read it. It sounds really cool. It's like assassin nuns in medieval, like, France or Brittany. So like that weird area that's close to Britain in France, like that area. Anyway, they're assassin nuns in the medieval times, and I'm like, okay, like I'm into that, but like this is book 3 and I don't have book 2. I still haven't read book 1. Who knows when that's happening? I got this for free. I think it's the Ark. Yeah, it is the Ark. This is a book that came out in 2014. Like, I feel like the ship has sailed. It's not happening. I'm gonna get rid of The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. Now, here's the deal. Like, I liked this, but I didn't love it. It was fine. It's kind of has very much like Disneyland meets Westworld vibes. So if that sounds awesome to you, I do recommend checking it out. It's a fine book. I liked it. I did love it, to the point where I'm just like, I see it on my shelf and I'm like, if it wasn't on my shelf, it doesn't make me unhappy, essentially. So it's gonna go. Forestborn by Elaine Audrey Becker. Again, I think this was just sent to me by the publisher. And it's pretty standard YA fantasy fare. You know, there's probably a love triangle, chosen one girl saving the world, la la la. Very stereotypical, but you know, it's just, I'm not gonna read it. The ship has sailed. I see it on my shelf. And I'm like, okay, I got sent this book, I should read it. And then like nothing in me wants to read it. So it's gonna go. I'm gonna get rid of the Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. I started reading this and then just DNF'd. Like, I gave up on it. I really wanted it to be good because it's such, you know, like a classic of horror. But I have read literally like half this book. I left a bookmark in it. Like, I read half of it and like I had no shits to give. Like, I appreciate it for like, you know, the, you know, classic it is, but I ain't never gonna finish this. Like, let's be real. It ain't happening. I might as well get rid of it. I'm gonna get rid of Silence of the Solaris by Michael Johnston, mainly because I got this one, which is the sequel to just Solaris. And I got it from the publisher. I don't remember asking for this one. I think I was interested in Solaris and they sent me both. So I was like, oh, well, that's a bonus. And I still haven't read Solaris. Part of me wants to try it out, but like, do I need the second book on my shelf when I have no idea when I'm even going to read the first book? No, I don't. Ultimately, like, if I really change my mind, I can get it from a library. I'm not like too concerned with it. It's not like I spent my hard-earned money on this. It was sent to me. So it's going to go. I don't know when it's going to happen or if it will, essentially. And you know what? Let's keep that train going again. Here's another three-peat. Again, sent to me by the publisher. Don't think I'm ever going to read it, which is Aspects by John M. Ford. I mean, it seems cool. John Ford is kind of like a name author. Like, Neil Gaiman really likes him. A lot of really big name fantasy, OG fantasy people like John Ford books. So I was like, okay, like, that seems cool. However, am I going to read this? Probably not. Like, let's be real. I'm going to get rid of it and let it go to a home where it will be appreciated. And closing out this little trifecta, I also have Worlds of Exile and Illusion by Ursula K. Le Guin. I want to read Ursula K. Le Guin, but I don't know if I'm going to read this one. I don't have a lot of like strong feelings about it. I don't know. I think I'd rather read like Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin because that's like the series, you know what I mean? To just read something random by the author would almost kind of defeat the purpose of me reading Ursula Le Guin. So I think I'd rather like hold out for Earthsea because it's not going to happen. Let's be real. I know myself. I'm also going to get rid of The Death and Life of Zebulon Finch by Daniel Cross. And I just got this for free, like at a book festival. They were just giving out books and I was like, okay. And I got this one and like, it seems really cool. It's super long though. This is probably it's like 650 pages. Super long, thick book. This book is thick. So chunky. And it has like cool like ideas of stuff that I would like. It's just every time I look at it and go, God, I have to read that. Like, I get so upset. Like, it's like a chore to think about having to read it, even though it does seem cool. I've made my peace with not reading it, okay? It's leaving my shelves. All right, so this last quatrain, I guess, these last 4 books, I'm getting rid of all of these kind of for the same reason again. There's been like little groups of the same reason, but these ones are all kind of like content based. So I have Phoenix Unbound by Grace Draven. Now I like Grace Draven's books. She's a good like fantasy romance author. This one has SA content that I'm like not interested in reading. I don't need that in my life. There's enough like hurricane of suck in the world right now. I don't need more in books. And it's been on my shelf for a long time. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna read it. Like, I've made my peace with it. Also, the content gives me like pause, so it's leaving. Also leaving my shelf is A Strange and Stubborn Endurance by Foz Meadows. I did start reading this, and it has a graphic on-page essay in chapter 2. Like, 2 graphic on-page scene. And I was like, I don't need to read a whole book dealing with that trauma. I'm sure it's handled well, but I don't want to continue with that. It's going. So no offense to the book, it's just like, wow, that's incredibly graphic on page rape. Like, I don't need it. More content problems here in We All Fall Down by Rose Sabo. And I mean, the cover, gorgeous. And I got it for free. This is a bound manuscript. And I have heard nothing but horrible things about it. And I was told by some other friends who have read the book that, like, damn, there is some very problematic things in it. Like, if you look on Goodreads, oh boy, oh boy, people are eviscerating this book. And I was like, ugh. So yeah, I'm okay not reading this, essentially. It has a lot of problems, like racism, sexism, like weird, like a lot of problems with this. So it could just go. Last up, I have Darling Girl by Liz Michalski. I started reading it. I wasn't very impressed with it, honestly. I was like, okay, whatever. And then, like, I found out that there is essay in this. I don't think it's, like, graphic or on page, but it does happen. And this is a Peter Pan retelling. So I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. 0%. So, again, for content reasons, it's gotta go. I don't need to deal with that. Okay. All right, so those are the books that are leaving my shelves. It's so late at night. It's probably close to midnight right now. It's not a weekend. It's a Thursday. What am I doing with myself? I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Okay, I have lost my mind. I'm gonna go now. The video's over. There you go. Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know, what's a book you just don't want to deal with because of content issues? Like, I just gave you 4 of them. Like, what is it that you're just like, I don't need that in my life? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And if you want cool exclusive content, including a book club and early access to my videos, you can consider becoming a member or a patron. The links for those are in the description down below. And on that note, I will see you guys soon. Bye.